Hello, my gorgeous, joyous Geminis. Welcome back. As you know, I am Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of November. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more I can send to you. And Gemini, for the last segment, you were third, and this time you are fourth. So thank you again for all those likes and for staying in the top. All right, so what we had in the cleansing ceremony come out was peaceful among thorns. I just did Pisces and Scorpio, and they both had this with a very similar energy of, you know, maintaining your outer peace while someone is dragging you through a patch of thorns here and hurting you. And, you know, taking it just because you can, of like, yeah, I can maintain my peace. I'm good. You know, it doesn't matter what you do to me. I'm okay, right? Like, of course that is good, but it does reach a certain point, and it looks like that is the cycle, you know, of what is popping up here, what is being cleansed. We have the Tower in reverse. So some sort of Tower moment did not happen, some sort of action that was not taken. You know, the Tower moment is when, you know, everything comes crumbling down. But in this deck, for me, the Tower means, you know, the Tower moment is slowly emotionally eroding. The rain indicating the erosion of, you know, it's going to take a while to take this down. So it looks like both of you definitely still have super strong feelings for each other. It's solid. You're both in it. But there's some sort of like taking the emotions that are eroding away that is going to cause some sort of destruction. We have Persian that came out using fake out. So for this, or I'm sorry, it came out in reverse using ambush. So there was some sort of ambush that has happened here, right? A lot of new things. Like, it was a Tower moment that, you know, it's not one big thing. It's like a bunch of little things that add up to a big thing. It's like, you know, a raindrop isn't going to hurt, but all these raindrops are going to erode the foundation. So there was some sort of ambush with this. It has to do with communication. And with Dino using gnaw off. So, you know, dragon types for me always take as twins. So for some of you, it's a twin situation where there has been some sort of psychic dark energy that has been cut off because somebody was ambushed here in communication. So Gemini, whew. Lots of pretty powerful energy already coming in, my beautiful twins. And so this is the Scorpio season special. So what we are going to do is take a look at the death and rebirthing energy. We're going to look at what cycle you are stuck in, and then we are going to look at what needs to die and how it can be reborn here. All right, let's see. What cycle is Gemini stuck in? Hiding your true self. Okay, so there's some sort of aspect of not being able to be your authentic self in some sort of way. And I feel like that's very much, you know, like I said, my beautiful twins, there are always two of you in some sort of way, right? You really can see the this and the that at the same time and both be contradictory but true, right? You really hold the mental capacity that a lot of people don't. A lot of people can't see both sides and have them equal, right? And Libra, a fellow air sign, is the one who's supposed to make that judgment. But Geminis, you really don't. You don't really make that judgment. But it looks like part of yourself is hiding. What is this? We have the Knave of Earth in reverse. So for me, this is doing shadow work. This is like, you know, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy that's in the shadow, that is, you know, lurking and spying and, you know, really working in the shadows to try to find out their information. So it looks like there is some shadow work that you are neglecting to do, or you're in it and you're not integrating it, and you are really still hiding who you truly are. What's the light energy? What's the light energy? We have Duskox using hazardous scales. Yeah, it's funny that I mentioned Libra for you guys. Libra was first this past month, so their energy has been very, very strong. You know, we ended Libra season. Mercury just retrograded out of Scorpio and has retrograded back into Libra. So we have some more Libran energy before we, you know, Mercury hits Scorpio again. But happy Scorpio season. But whatever this balance is, it's been very hazardous to the mental state of things, to the psychic connection that you might have with someone else. But what I'm getting, it's mostly this, like the mental processes that you have within yourself. You know, this is really causing some Libran influences, some one-on-one relationships to be hazardous because you're not being your authentic self. It says, toxic powder is scattered with each flap. At night, it is known to strip the leaves off tree boulevards. So there's some sort of like toxic relationships is what I'm getting, that, you know, the way they flap their wings and like cause this air, this communication is just toxic to your mental state is what I'm getting. It talks about at night, it's known to strip leaves off of boulevards. Like whenever it talks about night, right, this is moth spirit. So this is very much a transformation that is happening in the shadow, right? And it's in the light, but it looks like you are in that process of the transformation, right? Moths are the butterfly of the night. You are, you know, transforming, but it looks like a little bit in a darker way because you're still hiding your authentic self, that some of the shadow work has yet to be completed. What's the shadow here? Steel energy. So this has to do with protection. So it looks like you have a toxic psychic connection with somebody and it's causing you to hide your true self, and it puts your walls up in the wrong way is what I'm hearing. It has to do with how you, what you are doing to protect yourself. All right, steel energy is when you know how to solidify your aura and make sure that no one can psychically attack you or anything like that. All right, let's see here. What needs to die in this cycle? Ooh, I just heard, like, if you are constantly being psychically attacked by someone, that's how you know it's not time to connect. Just letting you know. All right, the child I was meant to be. So this is definitely some sort of inner child wound where, you know, your parents or society or friends, whatever this influence was, you know, we did have this Virgo energy, so it has to do the day-to-day activities, the service to others, the your health as well. And there's something stopping you from being your authentic self because you were told the way that you had to grow in some sort of way. Like someone told you as a child who you were supposed to be, and you started growing based on the direction of someone else, because maybe it's that the way that you got love from your friends or your teachers or your peers or your parents was by conforming to an idea of you, of what, you know, they thought that you should be. Gemini, this can definitely be intellectually as well, because you guys are the intellectuals, because you like to play in the mind. That's one of your gifts. So you always have a lot to think, and yeah, okay, let's see. So whatever people imposed on you of who you were supposed to be, you know, instead of being your authentic self, that is what needs to die here. Let's see, what needs to be put to rest? We have the Knight of Fire. So this is Sagittarian energy in reverse. So, you know, Sagittarius has to do with traveling, culture, luck, abundance. Sagittarius is also, you know, academia and philosophy. So like how I said with the intellectual energy, it's like someone tried to tell you what philosophies you had to think. Someone has been telling you, like things that have to do with academia and school, maybe where you are going in general, where you have to live for some of you. And that energy, it really needs to change here. The way that this is approached, or the way that you run from things because of these inner child wounds about who you were supposed to be. Let's see, what's the light energy here? We have Score Bunny using flare. So again, a lot of fiery energy. My right arm, so my masculine arm is like, ooh, really taking a hit. So I don't know if someone got burnt on their arm maybe, but you know, flare is when you send out a flare when it's like SOS, right? So it's very much like, you know, what needs to die is just putting that flare out there and, you know, dealing with these, you know, who I was supposed to be according to someone else by running, right? As you can see, Score Bunny's running so fast. There's a trail of fire. And we have the Knight of Fire, which is, you know, the traveler, like, skedaddle, I'm out of here, motherfucker. You know, like Gemini. Everyone's, you know, they say you guys ghost people a lot, and I know it's true, and that's like, you know, part of the programming of a Gemini, but it's really about how do you learn to go beyond your instinctual behavioral responses. You know, it says a warm-up of running around gets the fire energy coursing through this Pokemon's body. Once this happens, it's ready to fight at full power. So what's really being asked to, you know, change is that, you know, whatever sort of rush that you get, whether it's through these intellectual things, these academic, these cultural or traveler thing about who you were supposed to be, you know, having, what I'm getting is that inner confrontation really fuel your fire, right? And the way that you feel alive is just by running away from any sort of expectation other than you being your authentic self. What's the shadow here? We have Cincino using last resort. What I'm getting is that should be a last resort here. Like the last resort should be, like the last resort in your life, the very last resort is, you know, being someone that someone else wants you to be. That's the worst thing you can be, right? That's a last resort. You always want to be your authentic self. And this running energy, it's like, you know, running away from your authentic self, maybe because you're not feeling like you feel that you can be safe to be your authentic self, because in the past as a child, you learned that expressing your authentic self was not okay, was not good. It says, Cincino's body is coated in a special oil that helps it deflect attacks such as punches. So this talks about, you know, oil over the body. So I always take as like consecrated oils of protecting, you know, oneself, of, you know, to deflect attacks. It's basically the way that things are protected here. It looks like by protecting yourself from that Libran energy, that peace and harmony, one-on-one, you know, partnerships, it's staying in that toxic energy because there is so much guard up. So much guard up. All right, let's see here. What should be rebirthed? Okay, so we have it's going right to, you know, this Sagittarian energy and the Score Bunny with the Knight of Fire. We have Parasite. Woof. Okay, so the way that you feed is what I'm getting. The way that you feed off of this can indeed be rebirthed, right? You can, this rush that you get of running away because of whatever happened with your childhood wound, there is a way to still drain energy from people in a healthy way, right? I do feel a lot of you are kind of psychic vampires, which makes sense. You rule the head. I know plenty of people who have been completely ruled by a Gemini mind. You guys do very, very well. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing necessarily, right? But the way that you are able to psychically feed off of others, what I'm hearing is it can be a different source. You can still maintain this mental power energy. Yeah, atonement in reverse. It doesn't always have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be a stab in the back. This for me is very much Ten of Swords, so the end of a conversation. Things don't have to, you know, always end terribly with a knife in the back, right? There is some sort of way that you can still feed off of energy healthfully and have a kind of one-way energetic, you know, relationship, without it being like attacks and feeling like someone has to atone for their sins. Whew. All right, let's see what should be reborn here. Going right to Cincino using last resort, justice. So this is Leo. So it looks like the last resort energy should be trying to get justice by stabbing someone else in the back or hurting someone, right? The way it's not by stabbing them in the back or hurting them, that's bad energy to be drinking anyway, right? God, Gemini, y'all are, whew. All right. So with Leo energy, this is very much, you know, justice is staying in the back and just kind of watching, observing what happens. Like she sees justice by like holding back and just watching people's actions. And with the Leo energy, it very much has to do with the ego. So what I'm getting is just really pull back the ego and just observe what's going on. It's like, you know, you can back off, but still keep an eye on things. It doesn't always have to be like, knife in the back, like ouch. Definitely people are getting involved or hurt here. What's the light energy? We have Tangle using absorb. Yeah, so the way that you absorb energy into your heart chakra, you know, that's what can really be changed here. And bringing justice in mind of being like, all right, let me just observe what's going on here. Like, what is my ego saying to me right now? What story is it telling? And how am I going to cause some sort of response in someone else's heart chakra and then absorb their energy? Like, you know, let's just take a step back here. And you don't have to run from this. Okay? Entangle I very much take as like entanglements that are in the heart. It says, it tangles any moving thing with its vines. The subtle shaking is ticklish if you get ensnared. So what I'm getting is you can have these types of entanglements with multiple people is what I'm hearing. I mean, Gemini, of course, you can handle at least two, right? Like you can really absorb positive energy here. The way that you are absorbing heart chakra energy, you can bring, you know, joy and that funny, tickly energy to people's hearts rather than, you know, like going at them like they have to atone for their sins in some sort of way. What's the shadow here? Going right to Cincino using last resort. So it's Ralts using mumble and magic shot. So this is someone, again, it's that same type of energy of just kind of like, you know, holding in the back and watching what is happening. And you can see that that is the same energy here. Is like, yeah, you can still absorb positive energy in the heart with people, even if you're just kind of withdrawing and seeing what happens. You know, the fairy type is very much like one-on-one deal-making relationships, and mumble is just like kind of talk, you know, kind of talk, like not too loud, not too much, you know, but still keeping an eye on things is what I'm hearing. And magical shot, that this is kind of like an opportunity to take some sort of, you know, magical approach. And I'm hearing that that should also be the last resort, is if you still kind of want to continue talking maybe with some people. Yeah, the way that it's talked about can really be transformed here. If you want it as a last resort to maintain some sort of relationship that has had a lot of poison in it, is what I'm hearing. It says, it is highly attuned to the emotions of people and Pokemon. It hides if it senses hostility. Yeah, so it's okay when you sense something that is hostile, right? If you start, you know, feeling the energy of someone in their heart and what you're absorbing from them is not the fun kind of tickles, if it is very hurtful and you feel like you have to hide your true self, you know, it can definitely, you know, withdrawing, you know, and, you know, hiding if you sense hostility is okay, right? But you can still kind of peek through the cracks and, you know, mumbling to them. Yeah. It can definitely, the interactions can really change of how you are interacting in your heart space here. So, wow, Gemini, that was, whew. I'm not doing an extended, but I am doing this spread as a Scorpio season special. So we'll tap into this energy and then take a look at what can help bring about this transformation that is happening for you in the cycle of death and rebirth of Scorpio season. Let's see what can help Geminis. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is their message? Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do this alone. So it does look like you are being asked to, you know, bring in your authentic tribe, right? Your soul family. As I mentioned, that hazardous scales, there's been some toxic relationships where, you know, the one-on-one relationship just was not good. So, you know, by hiding your authentic self, you keep those who want to love you, you know, for your authentic self away from you. So this is really a time to call into your soul family, calling in your tribe, and that you don't have to do this alone, right? This is, you know, a lot of things, especially if we are talking about the justice system and things like that, where it's really time to unite with you know, your soul family in order to help heal things and be in relationships where you don't need to feel like you have to run. Okay. All right, Gemini, like I said, if you are interested in getting a personal reading of this, feel free to email me at sachithescorpioservices@gmail.com. My email is in the description box below. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter for some other fun, spiritual, you know, soul healing stuff. And I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful Scorpio season. I love you very much. I'm sending you all so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.